Hello, everyone, and happy Friday out there. I hope you're all ready for a wonderful weekend ahead. And with that, welcome back to the Kaiser Report. This is John. I'm with you today on this beautiful Friday day. And we're going to talk about a few things that are up and coming. Number one, for the first time in 50 years, we've had a moon landing from the United States. Unfortunately, it had nothing to do with, it was privately owned, it had nothing to do with NASA or backed by our government, but it's there and it landed. There was some scary moments, I'm told, as they had a little trouble with it, but it worked out, which is good for something, I guess. Hopefully we won't send any politicians up there to wreck that planet as they have done so with our planet. That said, the House GOPs are pushed to impeach Mr. Biden appears close to stalling out. Their attempt at Alejandro Mayorkas didn't go as well as they thought, and they don't believe that they have the votes to pull off getting rid of or impeaching Joe Biden. That said, if you think about it, if he's not able to stand trial for some crimes that they have caught his hands in, then why is he able enough to be sitting in the White House with his finger on a nuclear button? So you need to ask yourself these questions and find out what the hell is going on behind closed doors again. These hearings with Biden's brother, and now next week we have to look forward to Hunter Biden being behind those closed doors with this committee to answer some more questions. I think it's a massive waste of time and money, as was the 3.5 years we had to put up with the clown show trying to impeach Donald Trump, which happened twice. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander, but in this situation with this country in the level of demise that we're in right now, I don't think we should be spending time to impeach anyone. We need to do that impeachment in the voting booth come November, and I'm afraid, as always, that that's already been fixed, and not in a good way. That's just my opinion. But the first impeachment of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, scraped through by narrow margins, and I think that the GOP sitting people realize that the same will happen if they go ahead and do this with Joe Biden. Anyway, that's what's going on. We only have one member. Ralph Norman is the rare Republican that is bucking Trump and backing Nikki Haley for these primaries that are up and coming. And if you're not privy to realize that tomorrow is the South Carolina primary, in which if you look at the numbers that are out there, Biden seems to be well ahead of Nikki in that state, and that's her home state. What she is up to and why she's going to maintain a presence throughout this, I guess up until Super Tuesday, is what she's saying now. And she's the threatening rhetoric that's coming out of her mouth about if you vote for Trump, you're going to lose because Biden and Harris will beat him, and you have nobody to blame but yourself because you didn't vote for her. Well, make of that what you will, but I don't believe, in my estimation, that has any bearing on anything other than the fact that she has lost in 2 states already, and now she's facing a loss in her home state, which should wake you up to realize that maybe she's not all it's waxed to be. Again, these are my opinions. And the other part of the news that is coming is the step forward of Joe Biden to lay a whole bunch of new sanctions on Russia based on the fact that the dissident that died, and we don't know how that happened. There are so many theories out there on the death of this gentleman that we really don't know what the truth is, and I'm not sure if we'll ever get the truth on that. But sanctions are one thing, but if we keep poking the stick in a cage of an angry lion, someone is going to get hurt. That's pure and simple. We should not be rattling this cage. He's still on about getting billions of dollars to go to the Ukraine again and again and again. When does this stop? This is not our war. It is not a NATO war. NATO is not involved in that area and should not be, as promised by this country to Russia years ago, which is now evident to everyone since, Tucker Carlson got in there and got an interview and a history lesson. So let's take that for what it's worth, but we don't have any business being in the Ukraine war with weaponry, with money, or any other fashion. It's not our war. This country has taken in 11 million illegal aliens that we're now having to support, and this country is broke because our Congress and our president and his cabinet don't know how to stop printing money and lessening the dollar value all over the world. That, coupled with banking problems that we're facing, housing problems that we're facing, and interest rate hikes that are coming, whether they tell you, everybody thinks that this is they're going to drop the interest rate 3 more times. That's not going to happen. That cannot happen. If you listen to anyone that is savvy to economics, they'll explain it to you. It's not the way to go. Inflation is on the rise. Foodstuffs in this country are costing more and more money. Go shopping. Look for yourself. I know that most of you out there have to support families and go grocery shopping, pick up the necessities that you have to survive, and it's costing you 20 to 30% more than it did 2 years ago. It's not a good situation to be in for the mainstream person trying to have a life in this country. And to hand illegal refugees that are crashing through our southern border and now the northern border freebies and checks and debit cards for up to $10,000, while we have homeless citizens in the street living in tents. And I know some of this is drug related, but you have our veterans that are living in tents in the street along with some of these refugees that can't make it. They're not getting debit cards. What's up with that besides filling the cities that you need to redistrict your voting population in and using the census to drive that? I'm not stupid, and you shouldn't be either. This is what's going on. It's craziness to think that there's anything different going on here. In the athletic side of things, the big fight now is women sports being infiltrated by men pretending to be women and doing damage to these ladies that are working in the sport that they aspire to achieve in. and taking away the accolades and the winnings that should go to the women, not a man pretending to be a woman. Men have no business in women's sports. Period. End of story. And these schools and these leagues need to realize that and put a stop to it. All the eyes are on Trump's Supreme Court. Conservatives prepare to rewrite the rule book. And this is coming out of the news today on CNN. What a surprise. You know, they give next to no reporting on the things that we need to be interested in and we need to be educated in and understand. But something like this, they'll give 10, 20 minutes to and lie to you and the public and everything else that's going on, but what we need to know. As I've said many, many times, they get a script in the beginning of the day, and if you flip between channel to channel, go to CNN, CNBC, NBC, PBS, they all have the same wording. How could that be? The key word today is what? And this is what they drive home. They're not telling you what you need to know to make informed decisions on the actual news that's taking place in the world and in this country. You have to research on other platforms to sift through the lies that are being told to you by legacy media. It's not fair, but thank God we have this platform. We have Rumble, you have Truth, you have several other ones that you can choose from, and you can disseminate through those platforms what the truth is and find out what's going on in the other side of the world other than what CNN wants you to know. It's a shame, but this is the way it is. Let's just see here. And they want to talk about the Supreme Court doing anything. It's them that wants to pack the Supreme Court. The left side of the aisle would love to see the Supreme Court packed to the point where it's so far left you won't recognize it, like they have done with the Obama-appointed and Soros-backed judges and district attorneys throughout the country in these blue states. I mean, you can turn on any news channel and see what's going on with, I guess, Fanny's got caught and caught good. So I don't know what's going to come of that, but they're in a blue city and probably will get away with something. But I think that her chance at the trial for what she wanted to bring up against Trump is moot now because she's been caught in too many lies, under oath and otherwise, along with her boyfriend, to make it, public again would be a mistake on her part. But she is a belligerent individual and an arrogant individual, just like Letitia James is in New York, that they're untouchable. Speaking of New York, Mayor Adams, wow, what they're doing to that city. People are leaving that city in droves as far as businesses are concerned, and rightfully so after they let this idiot judge give a ridiculous number out to try to stop a candidate from running. This is election interference at its best. This whole business about, lock up Donald Trump is a conspiracy theory no longer, because you can see it now with your own eyes. So I don't want to hear conspiracy theorists or anything else. It's a one-sided attempt at election interference, and they're doing it in plain sight while you watch, in the hopes that you'll believe what their paid media comes behind them and reports to you. Not a good situation to be in when you're facing a election that is this important for the survival of this country. And you've heard it here on the Kaiser Report, and mark my words, there's skullduggery underfoot right now to tilt this election. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you enjoy the play? But we're facing more and more of this nonsense that we have to put up with, and our Congress and our Senate they're unbelievable right now on what they get away with and what they're saying and what they're doing. And the appointments of this administration is a carnival of characters that the world has never seen before and can't believe they're in the offices that they occupy without the knowledge to be there. Period. But that goes along with the Biden family thing. I mean, what did Hunter know about oil to get on the board of Burisma? What does he know about anything other than crack and getting cocaine into the White House and whatever else he's guilty of that's all on the laptop for proof, covered up by a weaponized FBI? Or what was one. If it still is, I don't know. But it is not a good situation. We're wasting time and money with these hearings and trials and all this other stuff. If you have the evidence, put it forward and let the courts decide. But this is ridiculous to keep on with these hearings on the Biden crime family. We all know now what really happened. We knew it when Joe Biden, on film, on TV, on the news channels, sat in the Ukraine and said, you're not getting this $1 billion unless you fire the person that is looking into prosecuting his son. This is there for anyone that wants to see it. It's there. And how he can walk away with this and deny it now, oh, that's right, he's senile and he's forgetful, so he shouldn't be tried for anything because he's not capable. But yet he sits there with his finger on the nuclear button. You have to ask yourself, Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot is going on here. Enough of that said. Anyway, it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to have good weather here. I hope to get out with the camera and get you some shots around some small town Appalachia here and get back to you this weekend with something fun and something positive rather than all the negatives to take place in this news cycle anymore. The moon landing was a positive. I'm going to view that as a positive. The Israeli situation I'm going to view as a negative. They need to get off of Israel's back, and the people in this country protesting on behalf of the Palestinians, they need to go live in Palestine for a while and realize just how bad Hamas is and how much threat Hamas gives to that region. And who are they backed by? Iran, who we are too scared to say a bad word to by our government, run by a bunch of fools at this particular juncture. There's no other explanation for it other than it's a clown show and it's a circus. But here's what happens. You buy a circus, you get the clowns. And that's what people voted in this country on false pretenses, or supposedly voted in. And we're not even sure of that anymore, because too much is coming out, too late to do anything about stuffed ballot boxes and illegal votes. And don't kid yourself. These millions of illegals that are coming in here, well, here's a great one for you. San Francisco, in their infinite wisdom, took a Chinese national new to this country by 6 months and put her in charge of voting tabulations. Can anyone explain that in the comments below to me, how that works? A non-citizen is in charge of voting counts in San Francisco. You cannot write a book of fiction and expect to sell it. If you wrote all this down and tried to publish it, no one would believe it. But here it is in front of our eyes, happening in your face. It's unbelievable. A Chinese national, and she gives her acceptance speech in Chinese. Wait, what? You have to ask yourself, how did that happen? There's no explanation for the stupidity of the people that are in charge in San Francisco that could allow this to happen. If you look at the state of California, for Christ's sake, it's a mess. And who do they want to run on the ticket behind Joe Biden if he fails? Is Newsom, who literally is wrecking the state that he's governor of. Yeah, let's make him president. Oh my God. It's unbelievable. You couldn't write this and put it on TV as a sitcom and get away with the nonsense that they get away with today in politics. Tomorrow is the runoff in South Carolina, Nikki Haley's home state. She's not expected to win there. Trump is expected to win. But you never know. She's not going to drop out. She's being very arrogant about it. And she's backed by a lot of Democrats on the left side of the aisle because they want her. Why? Why would that be? Other than the fear of Trump, and they do fear him. There's a lot of possibilities going on out there. And I've told you this before. If you haven't tuned in to any of these channels and listened to interviews with RFK Jr., you owe it to yourself to do that, because this man knows some things and he has some good ideas, and I'm not promoting or backing any candidate at this point, but I think you should listen to them all. And he is a key element in this, and there's a reason that Joe Biden will not even give this man, with his family history of what it is, Joe Biden is refusing Secret Service protection to him. Why? Based on his family history alone, you would think that he would get at least what Obama and Biden and the rest of them got as far as Secret Service protection. It's almost ridiculous when you think about it. And if you don't see the interference, the election interference already taking place, you need to wake up and voice your opinions. And I do hope that these truckers that are saying that they're going to boycott New York over what's happened to Donald Trump and things in New York in general come through, and I'm sure that these truckers will participate, whether this guy, Chicago, whatever his name is, backs out or not. He started it, but then backed off. I'm sure that somebody got to him and said, hey, pal, you can't do this. Well, not every trucker will back down. Not every biker will back down. Not everybody that is backing the Make America Great Again movement is going to back off because they're threatened. And this is a government that will threaten you with the IRS. They'll threaten you with the FBI and anything else that they can threaten you with to make you afraid. They live on your fears. Do not be afraid any longer. Speak your mind. Get on the platforms that will tell you the truth. Listen and make informed decisions, and you'll be all right. This country will come back, and it'll come back bigger and better than it ever has been. There is still a shining city on a hill, and we have to remember that, and don't let the media beat you down to where you don't remember that. Don't let your government beat you down to where you don't remember that. You have to say a prayer that we will survive and survive in good station. Because it's up to us. We, the people, need to get together, stop the division, the blacks against the whites. That's not an issue. It's an issue that has been pushed by the this administration and the Obama administration is when all of this started back up. We have a lot of great people, a lot of great citizens in this country, regardless of their color, that have a lot to offer and will work on your behalf if allowed to. So don't let them divide us. Let's stay strong, and let's hope and pray that God is watching and will help. Enough of that, enough of the soapbox. This is going to be it for today. And, with that music, I'm going to dance on out of here, and I'm going to go soon. So I wish you all a very happy weekend. Please don't forget to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and share this channel with everybody you know so we can stay with you. Bye now. I'm going to dance on out of here.